This is Dave Silver from Savage Messiah, and you're watching HornThrowers.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to HornThrowers. Today we're going to be interviewing Dave Silver from Savage Messiah. We've got Mira Slama. Is that the name of the bassist? There we go. That's your plan. There, he's right there. You can't see him. And the rest of the band are around somewhere. So,
Smoking crack.
more than likely. Anyway, it's great to actually be able to interview you guys. So, first off, let's start off with Fateful Dark's been out for a while, and how do you think it's been received by fans and critics alike?
I think it's been received very well. Definitely better than any of our other records. I think we've been playing most of those songs exclusively live for about a year and a half now, and they go down very well live, and the reaction has been really good.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. What would you say is your favourite song on the album?
My favourite song is Minority of One, because it came about in a weird way. It was a completely different song. The chorus was the same, but it was completely different when we took it to the studio, and Scott Atkins, who's our producer, didn't like the song very much, and so we had to rework it, and we very nearly ended up dropping it because we were coming up with ideas on the spot, trying to put a song together in the studio, which is risky, but it just sort of came together.
It's the best things are spontaneous. So.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I've had that experience myself.
What was your best touring experience you've had on this tour so far?
On this tour?
Well, I need to talk about that.
Yeah, funny stories, things like that.
Sure. I mean, well, for me, the best experience on the current tour is that people have turned up for gigs. We really didn't know what to expect. We've never really done any headlining before, and our support work's been kind of limited. It's been start-stop. At the start of the year, we opened for Soulfly, and then previously we did a long tour with Havoc and we played with Winter or something. But we've never really done any kind of like huge tours, which we are doing next year with Hammer. So I didn't know what to expect, and people have come out to the gigs, and every time I ask the question, who's got the new record, people are like, well, I've got it. So
plus you've got it in the bag.
Brilliant.
So that's been a good experience. In general, do you want a funny story?
What's up?
Yeah, funny story. Right, well, I've got the funniest, which involves our old bass player, and basically he was larking around in the back of a van on a road somewhere to Italy once, and he was sort of stood up. I'm sat next to him, Andrea the drummer sat there, Josh sort of there, and messing around. I had a Sharpie pen, so because he's dicking around, he's annoying me, so I put the Sharpie pen on the seat, thinking this will be funny, he'll sit on it, the pen will fall over, but he'll get poked with the ass with it, and then we're all laughing at everyone. And anyway, because he's kind of a lumbering guy, he sat down with such force that the Sharpie pen pierced both his jeans and his underpants and went straight up his arm. You've never seen fear on somebody's face. His eyes hit the windshield, and that's a rather amusing memory.
That sounds like an amazing. Just wow.
Yeah.
Talking briefly earlier, just speaking about your last label, what do you think the main differences are between Earache and Candlelight?
Candlelight? I mean, without being disparaging to Candlelight, because they're a stable label, well respected, I think it just comes down to ambition. I think Earache have a lot more ambition for their bands. I mean, Candlelight kind of, they're more happy, if you can sell a couple thousand records, that's total success to them, their business. At least from the response that I felt with them, that there wasn't much of a, push in the same way that Earache are more street,
they're
more reputable.
It's a different mentality. I think Earache want all their bands to be massive, and if you look at recently, particularly with bands that have like Rival Sons and Tempest Movement and stuff, they're really doing very, very well. I think that's kind of the ambition they have.
You need to have a label that's got faith in you.
And kind of like a good label, and we still maintain a fairly good relationship with them because they own the rights to our first album. But yeah, I think it just came down to ambition.
When you say for your first album, your first release, was that an EP? Was that under a different
that was self-released, and I suppose you know, a label is just a label, so it was my label. Yes, so I set up my own label. I did a distribution deal with Plastic Head, well not with Plastic Head directly, it was a subsidiary called O7. And but that was just an EP, just to try and get the name of the band out there and try and get something happening, move forward and stuff.
Well, you mentioned earlier about lineup changes, like you said, the bassist you had. You've also now got a new drummer. So what's actually happened with like lineup changes? What kind of things caused you to change?
Well, Andrea is our current drummer. He's not new. He's been with the band for nearly 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he joined very quickly after they recorded that album, Play the Conscience, and he's recorded The Fateful. And Joff, the guitar player, he's been with us. Actually, that was his first album, so he's been with us for a long time too. So we have had lineup changes in the real early days, but that's just typical of bands.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's difficult, you know. It requires a tremendous amount of commitment, sacrifice and stuff. You know, not everybody's willing to do that.
Recently, we saw you on the BBC News. The government, you being funded by government grants. I don't know, is it just for promotion or like?
Yeah, basically.
We saw that there's a really weird outcry like from the public, like they're doing like the sort of feedback from them, like complaining about it. I noticed they've been doing this for like decades, haven't they? Like funding the arts, and it was as soon as a metal band gets funded.
Yeah, I mean it was. You have to remember that the media. It was actually Channel 4.
All right, sorry.
But the media, there's a lot of politicking, and we currently have an unpopular government, and I think Channel 4 would, in my opinion, generally considered a left-wing news outlet, and when you have a conservative government in office, any stick that can be used to beat them will be used, and it's a sensationalist story, isn't it? The government funding the heavy metal band. But again, it's not like the government directly, it's actually the British Phonographic Institute, which is something very different. They're the people that certify sales. It's a very, very credible and sort of institution of historical significance in the British music industry. So, it is what it is. I explained in my interview the economics behind it, but you could see with the loaded questions and things that we were asked, the intention was.
Well, I did notice it was very one-sided. The interview was trying to kind of.
Yeah, and he was a nice guy. We got on alright with him. He's actually an economics guy, so it was interesting to talk with him about economics.
So, anyway, anything else you want to ask?
Just generally, like, how's this tour going?
Yeah, the tour's been great. People have attended the gigs, and like I said,
good.
it is. I mean, you never know. Like when you step out and attempt to headline for the sort of first time, you really don't know. And it's been really good. I've been really surprised and pleased, and it shows the growth of the band.
Do you have any future plans? Like, is the new album in the works? Or?
Yeah, we've been writing. We've got a few songs and stuff. But next year we'll be hitting the road in January and February with Am on a Mars Countries for about a month, which is
awesome.
good. Yeah.
It is a great package.
And then after that we will see, lining up more stuff. We've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and we're looking to be as busy as possible always.
Of course, I mean, especially given the music industry is these days, you've got to be busy all the time.
And you want to be, that's why we did it.
Well, yeah, that too as well, obviously, of course, because you do it, well, you do it because you love it, but also because you kind of have to make a living, so.
We've already noticed that you're a very hard-working band, because I haven't noticed this time you haven't had something out or been touring. I've seen you countless times at E-Bar, I think there's like 3 times or so.
It's twice, I think, yeah.
Alright.
Oh, it's twice for me, I think, because I've seen you twice.
Yeah.
It was Wrexham and Manchester.
Yeah, the sort of Earache event, the next big thing.
The Ritz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and they're a great band as well, and hopefully, you never know, I mean, they've had some issues and stuff, but they've got a new guitarist and they're booking up shows, and we'd always love to do shows with them, because we get on really well with them.
Yeah, we actually bought the tickets for the show for the album.
Release
Party, yeah, and it's been pushed back for 2 years now, so that's kind of annoying, but anyway, one last thing I wanted to ask you is, what's your favourite album? What's your favourite experience when recording an album?
Recording an album?
Yeah. Finishing it,
yeah.
Best part.
Absolutely.
It's
painful making a record, It's a lot of hard work and effort, because you're putting something down that's going to, irregardless of 10 people ever listen to it, that is what it is, you can't go back and change it, so obviously you have to put a lot of effort into it, and it's a challenge.
Yeah. Sure. And it looks like it has. I mean, given you got the grants, you've got people here, you've got people at other gigs. It's, you know, your hard work is paying off, and that's awesome to see.
Slowly but surely, and that's the best mentality for me. I mean, we don't want to be a flash in the pan band, 5-minute thing. You know?
Yeah, of course.
The bands that we have a lot of respect for, you know, bands like Hamon and Mar, and I'm not just saying that because we're touring with them. If you look at the way they did it, they actually formed in like '89 or some 92 or something.
So many albums out, it's really hard to get your hands into the previous albums.
Sure, but what their whole thing is, they just stick at it. Just stick at it, and eventually you get in a situation where it's like, right, let's do this properly now, and then, you know, the rest is history. And that's, I think, we're not the kind of band that's suddenly just going to be like, bang, you know, headlining the major festivals or anything like that. We're a slow burner, hard working, incrementally increasing in our, you know, in our profile, and I like it like that. It's good.
That's great to hear.
At least, you know, you've got like a proper fan base then, and it's not just like
We do, and I tell you, on this tour we've had people actually following us to shows. Like some guys who've been in the crowd tonight that used to be like their fifth show.
Yeah, our friend Alex that we came with, he follows you everywhere.
Which is amazing. I mean, that doesn't happen. Like, that's like 1982. So that kind of, so it's very flattering, you know, when people like the band and stuff.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much
for
doing this with us, and we'll wish the best of luck with you.
Thank you very much.
That's everything.
And thank you to Earache as well for organising
Putting this together.
Yeah. Thanks, and bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm woken in